Hey fellas, it's been a little while since you guys have seen this project. I did get some stuff out of my garage. You can see all of our CNC equipment here. We've got a Swiss turn, 3-axis Doosan, 3-axis Yang, and a couple 2-axis lathes. There's a few other things in the back of the shop that you can't see from here. And our automated saw, big radial arm drill press there that we bought. But anyway, it's been a little bit. Got the truck in the garage. It's been in the garage, been in the dry. I kind of had to take a little bit of a break. A 22 Mach 1. And she said she wanted a garage to put said car in. So we have took the vacation, built the garage, done a few things, a few other things like that along the way. We did pick up another 63. It's all original. It's got 21,000 miles. It's 292 Y block with a 3 on the tree. Runs and drives. We replaced all the brakes and lines and added a dual master cylinder to that. But anyway, back to what we're going to work on today. We've got the Godzilla out. We've got a template made for finish the frame rails up. I'm boxing them in. Got the template ready. I've still got enough stuff on the back of the truck. I'll try to video some of the cutout stuff that I've already done. I've missed a little bit of the videos doing that. But just where I've been moving the truck and stuff around. But we'll get you set up. We're going to pull, I did one as a practice run yesterday. One of the valve springs just to make sure all my tools and everything done is going to work. But we're going to change the rest of the valve springs today. We're going to bring you guys along. And I wanted to show you one other tool that my wife got me 11 years ago. And I'm finally starting to get some use out of him. This is Clinton, my son. We're going to work together today, so you might hear a little bit of language between me and him that you might not understand, some goofiness, but we're going to work together here, hopefully, and without making him cry, and see if we can't put some valve springs in this Godzilla today. All right, we'll bring you guys along. We'll catch you here in a few. All right, so we got everything set up here. I've already had the valve pin cover off, so I just had a few bolts covering it back up while we had it, overnight, so nothing got in the motor. So we'll take the valve pin cover off here. Set it over here on the stand out of the way. So from what I've learned is this is the E450 motor. They put really light valve springs in these to help with fuel economy and some other things they changed. Like the water pump pulley is smaller than a regular Godzilla out of a pickup truck because of the RPM that it turns. And the damper is different. So I've got to change both of those. Today we're going to solely work on, we're going to add these POC Racing valve springs to it. Like I say, I've already added one. Here's the part number for those. Can you read it there? Get my helper. Okay. So there's the valve springs that I was recommended to put in for this. So I went ahead and got them ordered. I've had them for a year since I quit doing videos. I just haven't had time to work on the truck at all. Between the machine shop running and some other things going on, building that garage, and I know it's been a little while. So I did put this one back in here. It was on the compression stroke and it had the valve open, so I've just left it loose. I didn't retighten the whole rocker back down. But we're gonna go ahead and pull one off. I bought this Amazon valve spring compressor. Of course, it's for an LS, but it does work perfect on on the Godzilla, along with the tool for the air compressor to hold the valves open. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the first one here. Oh boy, that one must be really tight. So one thing about these that I noticed the other day when I had this apart, that the trunnion itself has one thread in it. I don't know if you can see down in that or not, but it has one thread that makes this thing captive. So when you go to put it back together, you got to keep that in mind to keep it to where it'll tighten up, or it'll strip out that one single thread. I don't know if they've done that for quick install so you don't lose the bolt at the factory, or why they did that, but it does have that one in it. So, and you can clearly see that these are all green and yellow in the motor, in the engine, the way they are. And there's a huge difference in the length of these springs, by probably close to a 1/2 inch difference. But all of them in the box are the same, so they're all going back in one location. So we'll set the rocker over to the side here, and we'll get the tools out here and see if we can't get this valve spring off of there. It came with bolts to do the job with. It came with bolts, but I've been just used the factory bolt and put it right back in the motor. So I didn't thread it down super tight. I just run it down till it bumps real light, like. Just something real soft and easy. And then actually you can take the original springs off with just a regular 3/8 ratchet, but when you go to put the new ones on, you'll need something a little longer, and that's where I ended up using this just for control. So looks like we'll be in this side here. Of course, must have done the easy one the first day, so we'll have to figure out how to get that to get in there to do that one. So we'll go ahead and just take off the rocker here beside it. That does not want to go in here like I thought it would. Impact will just turn down. I am going to keep the rockers in the right order over here on the toolbox. I'm pretty sure that it really doesn't matter, but I am going to keep them in order. We'll make a little room here to do the work. Get them out of the way. This is really probably the first time I've ever changed springs and stuff on a motor that I've never needed to. I've never really had too many performance motors. I've got one car that's built a little bit, just an older Nissan. It's a 240SX with a built KA motor in it, and there really isn't that many aftermarket parts out there for that car, as far as like valve springs and valve train and stuff. So we'll have to figure out how to get those ones out the right way. That one does not want to clear. May have to get a little different socket. So we'll be back in just a minute. See how it goes. So I went and got a handy dandy 1/4 inch ratchet and socket. That just still doesn't quite fit in there, but it does fit a whole lot better than the impact socket. Like I say, these, from what I've read, don't trust me on this, look it up yourself. These only torque to 20 foot-pounds when we install them back. You're supposed to do it in the firing order to make sure your cylinder's up on top. But anyway, this will have the rockers out of the way. Got a spot over here left out for this one. Well, if you guys have been following along with this build, my apologies on taking the hiatus there on getting this done. Just been a last busy year, so it's been crazy busy. It's hard to believe. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use the bolt that came with this adjuster, and that way I can keep all my bolts in the right place and everything to go with it. Those bolts are made really kind of different. They got a big long blank space that's partially threaded. All right. So the factory, the bolt that came with them was just a couple Allen bolts. We'll make sure we use the appropriate one for length. Probably the longer one will be just fine. Make sure it fits nice before we put anything in the way there to. So we definitely don't want to mess the head up while we're doing this. All right, well, I'll go find one more tool. Definitely need a set of Allen wrenches. So we'll go ahead and back up here and to the other cylinder. The air's on, and we'll hook it up to the cylinder here and get it pressurized and get to see if we can get this valve spring changed. So that bolt did tighten down, but it is too long. It bottomed out in the bottom of the hole, so we don't want to use that one, I don't think. There, it bolted down pretty tight, and it centered the tool. So we'll go ahead and snug it down just a little bit. So there that is back in there. So we'll use the other side of the tool here and we'll pull out the keepers. Now, a lot of people do it a lot of different ways. I've noticed that people try to catch these things so you can see the valves all moving right there, because I forgot to put the air on it. So we'll hook it up. We're running about about 100 pounds of pressure is all we run in our shop. That pressurized the cylinder. Now the valve will be held in place so we can get those out of there. And I've just got a little magnet that I've been using to catch the keeper to pull them up out of there with. I'd like to have one on a stick, but I can't seem to find one I got, so it's just as easy to pull that out right like that. Just need something to be able to get a hold of them with. And there it is. So we'll let the spring up nice and easy. Take our big tool out of the way. So what I did read in the directions of these POC springs is you're not supposed to handle them with your bare hands unless you're covered in oil to keep the deposits off your fingers from rusting and micro cracking the spring. It says that's a lot of problem. I ain't sure that I wholeheartedly believe that, but we got plenty of oil here in the bottom of the motor where this is ran just some. So we're gonna coat our fingers up here real good with oil, and we'll get the new one out and put it in there. And what I did with this other one is I just went ahead and coated it in oil. So, you know, this project's already been a year and something long, way longer than I anticipated. Of course, that's how every project kind of goes. So we'll coat him up real good, get the inside and out. The motor oil that's in here. Seems like there's a bug found its way in there even. So we'll coat it up real good and we're going to set it right back down in the spot. Put the top hat back on. What I noticed yesterday, this spring is so much taller. Let me show you that before I install it here. This spring is so much taller than the one that came out of it. So you can see there on the yellow spring, it's at least one whole coil, probably close to 3/8 of an inch. And on the green spring is actually shorter, is actually taller, so it's only about 1/4 of an inch on it. So I want to make sure that all of my springs and new ones are all the same. So I'm pretty sure that they are. I think every spring in the box is all the same. So they all look the same. And I don't remember anything in the directions saying that you need to put this spring there. They're not collar coded or marked in any way. So we're going to set this valve spring back in there now. We'll put the top hat in. And very carefully, we're going to compress this thing. We'll kind of look down through the hole as to do it to make sure that the valve stem itself is let me double check these springs. I want to make sure that I'm not telling you wrong, that they're the same all the way through. Be back in a minute. All right, so after looking at them, setting a few of them out, they all appear to be the same. So we're going to go ahead and install this one here. Looking down through the hole, kind of eyeball that is to where it's level and going to hit the hole. And then what I had to do is put that in there, and then I had to constantly adjust it because the height is so much different. And center your tool up, kind of lean the spring back just a little bit, and then slowly pull it down over the stem, and kind of adjust it as it goes down. So once you get that down, just drop the keeper back in. They have to be compressed way more than I thought they had to be to get the keeper in there. Like I say, the one motor I have done is a overhead valve with shim under the bucket. It's a totally different type than this is. So put that one in there. It's still not quite positioned correctly, but we're going to drop the other one in. And I got a little flat screwdriver that I used on the other one to, of course, you know, you got to drop them about 6 times first. Just like that. Takes a little patience with one hand and trying to get those keepers in there. Done the other one 2 or 3 times before I got it, and when I did, it just kind of fell together. So just be patient. These would probably be a lot easier to do too if the heads was coming off, but as of right now, I'm just going to leave this motor together. Maybe next winter I'll pull it apart and add a camshaft and some other performance stuff. So we got them in there now finally. So it just needs to go drop down just a little. Like I say, this is the first time I've done it, so good luck. I maybe be more skilled at it than I am. Took them back out. It's easier to get them out than it is to put them in. I know you don't want to let too much pressure off on them and put them under a bind because it'll spit them out of there and send them across the shop. I'm gonna take them back out and regroup. I'll get back with you guys in a minute, figure out what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so finally figured out what I was doing wrong. When you go to compress the spring, you have to take it down far enough that when you get it down, you can put them in there squarely. I was trying to put them in there at an angle. So after the struggle best is finally done here, we'll take this tool back out and we'll try another one here. That was way rougher than I had anticipated. So we'll get moved over here real quick. We'll turn our air off. And the cylinder definitely holds the air really well. That's got all the air out of the cylinder. We'll move over to the next one. We'll pull the spark plug and got to find the socket and everything for that. We'll move over one. Maybe this one will go a little smoother. We'll see. By far, if you guys are interested in doing this, find somebody that has done it before and knows more about it than I do, because this is, like I say, my first try at this. I've never done it before, and I'm gonna probably show you something wrong, I'm sure. I think one of the big things is using that big breaker bar. And I think that's part of the problem, is it doesn't fit in there between there and the next valve very well. So pull the old spark plug out. Does look like it was burning pretty good there when it was running. I'll lay him up there. So I bought this air hose off of Amazon. I didn't know if it would work or not, but it's dual sized. The smaller spark plug size and then the larger, the 14 millimeter one. I actually had to take the O-ring off of this one and off the bigger one. The O-ring would not let it fit back in the spark plug hole like it should. So I took the small O-ring, moved it to the top, and the bigger O-ring is laying here on the motor. So I just kind of made it work for what I was doing. If not, I was going to order another one. So it doesn't thread in there very far. It's only about a turn, and it still don't feel like it threads in there very good. So I had a hard time with it yesterday, getting that very end cylinder. I've checked the threads, and as far as checking them and make sure everything is the same on them, they all appear to be. I mean, the thread pitch is right, the size of the threads is correct. There, it went in there and got started straight that time. So we'll hook him back up with some air, ease it on. I don't want beat to death with this hose. Probably see the engine move. Crank pulley move.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it's moving slowly. All right, so we got it hooked up. We'll compress that spring. See if we can do it just with the ratchet. Hey, pump up the lift there just a little bit. Give it a pump or two. A little bit. That's good. It keeps the motor from wanting to move. So we'll do the same thing as last time, as we'll just go ahead and compress this down. Take the magnet, pull it out there. Got the one. Go ahead and get the other one. Yeah, those come out a lot easier than they sure go in, that's for sure. Go ahead and get a little bit of oil there and lube this up real good. And before I put it back together fully and close it, seal it back up, I will make sure that I get some extra motor oil and dump in the top of this thing, just to, squirt can style over top of all the valves and wipe everything off real good. So I looked to see if these was shimmed, but I can't tell if they are, and the valve seal's holding it down or what. So so I'm not checking any of that stuff, I reckon, is what I'm saying. So we'll set that back in there. We'll flip our tool down. Get our big tool, because I couldn't push it hard enough the other day with the little ratchet to get it out of the way. Alright, so I'll get that pushed in there. And this might actually go a little better because of the angle of this one to the green, to the next green spring. Kind of level it up there. I'll put the first one in and see how that goes. There, it went right in. So that's definitely the trick to it, is to not put it in there at an angle. Flip him around to the top there. Looks like he's in pretty good shape. We'll put the bottom one in. Went right in, dropped it right out. So way better when you know what you're doing. I thought I practiced enough yesterday, but evidently I didn't. the E450 stuff and cabin chassis stuff is only supposed to rev to about 3,700. So that's why I want to go ahead and get these changed. So, all right, we'll bring you back at the end. This is how I'm doing it. I ain't saying it's right or wrong, but it seems to be working. This was like $11, and the hose down here, it was like 17, and they shipped the next day. Ordered them on a Thursday night, got them Saturday morning, so they worked out really well, and they do seem to fit the valley or the carrier part of the head real well. So I'm going to try to get that finished up. So, all right, thanks again. We'll be back with you here in a few. All right, fellas, we're on a roll. It's been about 15 minutes, and we got a pattern down. I got my helper here helping me. He's been running the magnet for me and getting that stuff apart. There's the one and two. So to actually have another set of hands is more helpful. Some days not so helpful. I'm sure you fellas out there with some younger ones has got more patience than I do also. I don't have very much patience, so I'm not very good at it. I try, but some days it don't go so well. So like before, we're just go ahead and use a little bit of oil that's down in the valley of the motor here or in the spring pockets and lube up the springs real good, just so they don't rust. We've been setting the valve spring right back on, and my helper here, Clinton, he's finally he done the install on the last one, so we're going to see if he can do it again. Slowly adjust that valve spring to its back in the middle, and then we're going to compress it down. And what I did notice is you've got to move the puller from one side to the other depending on which valve you're doing. Hold on. All right, put one in. Put it on in there. There you go. Spin it around. Keep going. Keep going. There you go. He's learned that you got to put them in the white part at the top. There we go. And then spin them up and down. I don't know that they need to be up and down, but we went ahead and put them back up and down just like the other ones. So there, that one went pretty smooth. We're practicing a little bit more. We'll move our puller, our compressor. And I've forewarned him about not touching the push rods and knocking it down in the motor. So hopefully we don't do that. If one of those disappeared, I'm sure you fellas know it probably ain't going to be easy to go get it. If I take it apart and have to do gaskets, so it's going to get cam and everything. So maybe that'd be a good thing. I don't know. His mama might not think so. Time I can pay the bill to fix it. So, all right. So we're tightened up. We've got air still on that cylinder. We're going to go to this side to do this spring. All right. You ready, helper? There we got both of them. Go ahead and let him up. Change the spring. We got a couple of them that all the factory ones are all up and down. I don't know that that matters, but we got a couple that's not. They're sideways, so we're going to go back and change those. I don't want anything that I do to cause this thing to come apart. So here we go. We'll put him back down there, line up the spring as we go. Just wait a minute. Alright, Slide him on there. Wide part to the top. He's finding out these oily small parts are hard to do, so put him in there. Push it on in. There you go. And you let it up. Spin it a half a turn. There you go. And you can put the second one in. Oh, be careful. Just a little more. There you go. Now spin them to the up and down. There we go. And then we'll let her up. All right. Well, we've successfully got one bank changed. We're going to go back and do this little bit. But it's definitely nice to have a set of little fingers instead of these big clubs that I carry around. It's nice to have a set of little fingers to help you get some of this little tiny stuff done. So, yep, we'll move back to the other side here in just a minute and we'll be back. So my helper's going to go ahead and take this other valve pin cover off. We did finish up the other side. While I move a few things around here and get ready to work on that side. He's going to take the spare nuts. Just lay them up on the middle of the motor. No, that's fine. Lay them up there either way. Wherever you can lay them out of the way.
Sounds good.
Move you guys around just a little bit. There we go.
I think I'm all good.
Is that all the spare nuts?
I think so.
Yep. Now take all the bolts out.
But easily.
Yes.
Oh,
Make sure you're in reverse.
I am.
Okay.
Purple.
Yep. Just run them out. Go ahead. Yep.
That's good. Oh. I can lay back and reach.
Maybe we can get this in here.
Okay. So just take them wholly out.
Yep. No, they won't come all the way out. They're captive in the valve pin cover.
Okay. I've got stuck here.
Yep. Go ahead.
That's good. Do you want me to get this one out? Like these ones right here?
Yes. All of them's coming out.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll just check.
Good. Keep going. Keep going. There you go.
Stops.
Yep. He tore down his first motor. We should have videoed it there a couple weekends ago. A small block Ford
I think it's pretty good.
302. He took everything apart on it except for the heads, and he just couldn't lift them. So,
Ah. Do I need to take this off or something? I can't reach. Oh, thank you. Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. There we go. Here comes sensitive. Okay, I need to be careful here with my drop. I
It
don't know.
won't fall, buddy. Just put it on there straight.
Straight.
Yep, go ahead.
They must have had that one tight.
Yep. There you go. Next one. Keep going. Just go on. Once you break it loose. There you go.
I might do this last one so that way it don't fall or anything.
It won't fall.
Okay. I think it's pretty good. Yep.
Good job. Get it off there. Take it around there and set it on the toolbox. we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We just was videoing taking the valve pin cover off, and we'll see how this side goes. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Might actually stop and clean a little bit more here and make us a little more room to get the toolbox over here. That was kind of handy. But we're going to take all the rocker arms off. We're going to organize them on the toolbox over there. And did you scuff your leg?
No, I'm just checking it.
Huh. And then we're going to change these two. So, all right, we'll catch you in a few.
Sweet. At least we got to do that.
If you don't run the bolts out far enough, they won't let set flat. All right, so there's the rockers all off. We'll change gears. We have to go get that 5/8 socket over there. We'll take all the spark plugs out while we're at it. I seen the other day, I watched a video on this motor on Power Nation, and they hadn't done anything but added the Holley sniper to it, and it actually produced 503 horsepower on their dyno. Without, other than just the Holley sniper, and then they worked on it and made 610 with camshaft and lockout and some other stuff. If you haven't watched that video, it's pretty good. They show a lot of cool stuff that they can afford to do.
Wait, so we're gonna get the Holley sniper?
No. We've got a Ford control pack for this one from Mars. Swap the universe is their slogan. I hope it's okay. I've seen mixed reviews about it. I would say as long as I'm keeping it stock, it's probably be fine, but yeah, if we go to making a little more power with it, we might have some problems. Look out, let me get the last one.
What happens if you drop the bolt?
It might fall in the motor.
Oh. You certainly won't have that.
We don't want that, that's for sure. We don't want to have to go fishing.
Yeah. Go fish. Reminds me of that game. Go fish. I wonder.
So we did figure out on the other side, you go to one side then the other, it makes it a lot easier on removing the springs. So, of course this back one, this outside's the easiest on it. All right, you ready there? Oh, wait a minute. We better put some air on it.
Oh.
We forgot to put the air on it and the valve moved. Glad they didn't come out of there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There we go. You ready?
Yep.
See if she moves.
Moved a tiny bit. Oh, there moved. There moved.
You can see the push rods moving. All right. We got air on her. You ready?
Yeah.
Pull them out of there.
Oh, I think it got stuck first time. So it won't come out. It won't come out his neck shell. Grandma. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Spin it to the top. Now see if you can get the other one in there.
I think I can.
Hold on.
Oh.
There's a trick here. If you do both at the same time, you can manipulate it around there. Okay. Don't knock the other one out. Put it in at the bottom. You got it?
Yep.
Okay, spin it till it's up and down. Alright, there we go. There's that one. Alright, fellas, we got it all buttoned back up for tonight. It's a couple-hour job. We did not torque the valve, the rockers. We did not torque those down yet. We're gonna let it set overnight so it'll, compress back into place. Tomorrow we'll, or maybe Wednesday, we'll roll over the motor and in the sequence and the firing order, and we will go ahead and then we'll torque each individual rocker arm. But yep, here we are again. We're gonna try to get this thing running the next couple months. We'll see how that goes. It's a lot of work to be done. We're gonna make some special pieces and parts for it and see if any of you guys are interested in them. Some brake stuff, some brake line stuff. Plan on running all new brake lines to everything. So I'm gonna make some new holders that'll be super simple to install with like the insert pieces. Gonna 3D print those with some automotive style plastic. It's good up to 450 degrees and is super tough. We've printed a few things there with it so far, and it's worked out really well. So, but anyway, glad to hopefully get you guys back to some content. Like I say, my apologies in taking so long, but me and Clinton, this is our goal, as he's got his to drive. He's 11. His mama's going to take him to a car show, and hopefully I'll get to wheel this one and take it to a few shows this year. Just the factory body with just the Godzilla and everything hooked up. Oh, there is one more thing that I ended up bought for the wife's Mustang. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe we can, down there underneath the bottom, I bought a exhaust for her car. It's a dual 3-inch stainless exhaust. And where I used the Mustang IRS, it lays under the truck perfect. So it looks like it'll work on both sides, comes out on each side of the truck. I'll get it cleaned off and have a little better view of it there tomorrow. So here we are, there's Clinton, and we're ready to go in and have some dinner. We'll see you guys later.